Thank you.
All right, we are going to start with or I should say continue with our post-race press
I don't know where
conference.
the rest of them are, so.
They're coming.
Okay. They got lost in the mix.
Yeah, well, sometimes these can take a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and get started with you. For today's Ford EcoBoost 300, we're now going to start being joined by our race-winning team and also our NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship team. We are now joined by Randall Burnett, the crew chief for the number 2 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet Camaro, driven by Tyler Reddick. Randall, this is your first career NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We will go ahead and take questions for Randall. If you have one, please raise your hand, state your name and affiliation, and Lee's going to kick us off up front.
SpencerRacingBoys.com. When you found out you were getting Tyler Reddick, that he was going to be your driver this year, what was the initial thought that went through your mind? Because you've never won a championship, and all this was like so brand new with him coming over after last year being somewhere else.
Well, I knew we had a really good team, right? We've run well. We've performed well, but obviously we had some work to do to get caught up with the Gibbs cars and the Stewart-Haas cars and this, that, and the other. And to bring in, Tyler's capability and put him into that car and see what we really had been working so hard on was pretty amazing. It's big shoes to fill, right? Like, he just won the championship and you got him coming in and you're like, okay, well, that's not going to be the problem. You got the guy to do it, right? So it was on us to give him the stuff to perform with, and I think our group rallied really well. I think we brought fast race cars all year. We had some insane amount of top fives, so we were competing for the win all the time. We gave a few away. We won 6 or whatever. So, it's just been an incredible year. He's an incredible talent. He can elevate a car from 3rd or 5th to 1st pretty easy with a good shot at it,
All right, Jacob.
Jacob Zimmerman, Speed Sport. So I'll ask the obvious first. Has your brother gotten a hold of you already?
He's here, actually. Him
good.
and Ashley
Even
and
better.
Mason are here. Yeah, you got the whole family here. So they came down, which is really cool. They came, down yesterday and hung out. So that was really cool. My wife and father-in-law are here, so it's been pretty cool.
Well, welcome to the ranks of championship crew chiefs, by the way. I know that was kind of the kickoff here, but what's your emotions? Because I know going into this, we knew the driver could do it, but for you being your first championship in your first season with Tyler, I imagine there were ups and downs during the year, and maybe times where did you wonder if it was going to happen?
Well, no, I mean, I knew if we got to this point and got him to the Final Four that we were going to have as good a shot as anybody with his capabilities. So, this being his favorite racetrack is a huge advantage for us coming here, because he just gets pumped up about coming to this place. And you can see it in his driving here when he puts it up on the fence like that. And just it's pretty amazing, And he's so confident in his abilities when he comes here, it makes my job easier, And if we could get him to be that confident everywhere, I think that we'd have won a lot more races this year, But he'll tell you like, man, I'm not very good at Phoenix, or I'm not very good at Richmond or whatever, and those are the places that we might have struggled. But you get him to a place like this, and he's like, oh yeah, I got it, So it's just fun. It's just a fun atmosphere to work on. All of our guys work so hard on these cars, man. They're great. Like each one of them perform at the top level of, their profession, and it shows in the speed that we bring to the cars. We got 5 laps on that car this weekend. That says a lot for our group. The other 3 teams that were in the Final Four, granted, they didn't get to test. One of their associate cars did get to test with the rookie testing and all that, So I think it's pretty phenomenal for us to get 5 laps and come in and win this deal. Like I was really proud of the effort with all of that, from the people at the shop to everybody at the track. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to make next year easier, but we'll go with that, Jacob.
All right, we'll continue with questions. All right, Davey.
Davey Siegel, front stretch. Do you get nervous, especially towards the end of the race, when he's inches off the wall? And did it ever cross your mind to tell him to maybe move down just a half a lane or a lane?
Yeah, I don't know if they showed me or not, but I was nervous about 200 laps tonight. So, no, it is nerve-wracking. You know, it's like you want to tell him to slow down, but then you got Cole less than a second behind you, and he's not going to slow down, right? So you're just kind of at the mercy of just going as hard as you can, and it's what he does, man. He just give the right guy the right equipment, and magical things happen.
All right, we'll continue with questions. Lee?
You guys seemed a little bit nervous there for a while, and it was either you or Derek asked him if he still had something left in the tank, and if you can talk about that moment, not that you ever had a doubt, as well as the move that he made, you know, with 20 laps to go, 19 laps to go, to pass Custer to take the lead, and then just sail off to the finish.
Yeah, so, you know, we were leading at that point, and Christopher was behind us. And, you know, this particular race has a history of going. The last 2 years, it's went without a caution from the second stage all the way to the end of the race, right? So now every lap you're, okay, what lap are we going to pit? What lap are we going to make? What lap are we going to make the most efficient amount of time on our tires? Like, how are we going to do that, right? So then you're, like, looking at the gap, and being the leader, it kind of lets you control that a little bit. But if somebody's too close to you, then you got to worry about them ducking off right behind you, and then you losing some time trying to get back to pit road. And, like, so it's a real chess match, right? So, you know, that's kind of why I was like, when the caution came out, I was like, hey, you know, were you saving anything there? Because we were just kind of like maintaining the gap, right? Where I was like, at that point, if that caution on whatever lap 123 or whatever had come out, I was like, man, we probably need to get a little gap. That way, if something happens on pit road, say you drop a lug nut or you get a tire caught up or something, you know, you've got a little more cushion at that point. So that's kind of why I was asking him about it, to see what he had left, if he was just kind of managing that gap, if he was going as hard as he could and all that. That's why I was kind of questioning him about that. That was incredible. You know, like, he ran right up on Cole, and Cole was doing everything he could, right? He took his line away. He was right on the fence and running really fast laps up there, and forced Tyler to do something out of you know, he wasn't going to give it to him on top. He knew if he gave him the top line that Tyler was going to take advantage of it. So it forced Tyler to be aggressive and make that move. And then, you know, Cole tried to cross him over, and it just great racing, man. Both of them, like, just racing as hard as they could. And, you know, we were fortunate enough to come out on top of the deal.
All right, we'll continue with questions. We'll take our final question from Jacob.
I'll expand on what I meant earlier, by the way. Does the fact that you get to keep this guy going into next year, keep Derek, you know, the band's basically staying together as you guys go up to the Cup Series, is that at least, do you feel like gonna take the communication picture or communication part of it, make it easier, or make it one less thing to worry about?
Well, it'll certainly be one less thing to worry about, because we obviously, the three of us work together well. You know, I've had a history of working with Derek before, you know, so I've known Derek for 10 years, 11, you know, 9 years, something like that now. And he's phenomenal, and we're really fortunate to have him coming with Tyler. I know Tyler's got a ton of confidence in him. He does a great job. So for that aspect of it, yeah, going to the Cup side with those two, that makes it that much easier of a transition. It's certainly not going to be an easy transition, but what I mean is, like you're saying, the communication and stuff, I have to worry less about that. You know, I have to, it's not like developing a new relationship there. So we got that going for us for sure. Well, we're going to discuss that on Monday. We're going to wait, and we're going to get through this weekend, and then sit down and talk about all that after this mess.
Jacob, did you have any other questions? Okay, 10-4. Chris?
Well, that we got to sort out too. I think we got to get all of us in the same room and figure it out, because we're all like different directions right now. So myself, we're staying down anyways. We were going to stay for the Cup race and hang out, and you know, just kind of, you know, it's back to work tomorrow, right? Like, kind of get kind of get an eye on everything and start working towards next year. And then Tyler was staying too. So I'm sure we'll find something to do this evening that might involve a drink or two.
Maybe, right? Bob, did you have a question?
Bob Parkhurst, Fox Sports Randall. Just what does this do for you in your career? I mean, it's seems like all the crew chiefs of these big three guys have Cup experience, come work with young guys in Xfinity, and now going back to Cup, or at least two of you going back to Cup.
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. You know, like when I moved to crew chief in the Cup Series, I probably wasn't as ready as I thought I was to be crew chief in the Cup Series, but I had a great year with AJ that first year in 16 with him for where we were at and everything, and I got a lot of really good experience. And when I came to work at RCR and went to work on the Xfinity cars, honestly, I had never really worked on an Xfinity car. I've been working on Cup cars all my life, right? So I had to learn that part of it, and it took me a little bit to get the lay of the land. I had Danny Stockman and Nick Harrison and all them guys to lean on at that point, and they really helped me on the Xfinity side and helped me get to where I'm at right now, and I got to thank those guys for that, you know. But I've gained a lot of great experience, you know, like there's no slouches in this. You know, you're running against Jason Ratcliffe, which is a how many ever time Cup winner and, you know, Xfinity champion. Mike Shiplett is a phenomenal crew chief as well. You got Jason Burdett. Like the list goes on of the talent in this series, and you know, and it makes you work hard, you know, just like you do on the Cup side. So it's just fun. Like I love this series. I think the Xfinity series is a great series, and there's a lot to learn here.
All right. Any final questions? All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in here a little bit early. You're
Yeah,
welcome
thanks.
to hang out if you want.
I'm going to go make sure our car's through. Haven't even seen it.
10-4.
So thank you all. Thanks for all you guys do for our sport.
We waiting right here.
Right.
We waiting on Randall?
No, Randall's already been in, so you guys can pick
Oh,
your
we're good.
seats.
Okay.
We got some.
We sprayed a lot of it already, so.
I wore a bottle or two.
You smell a little bit like that sprayed champagne right now.
I like it.
All right, we are going to close out the evening with our race-winning driver for the NASCAR Xfinity Series champion and the race today here at Homestead, Tyler Reddick, driver of the number 2 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet Camaro. This is Tyler's second NASCAR Xfinity Series champion, and obviously he won last year and again this year. And then Richard Childress joins us as the race-winning team owner. This is Richard Childress Racing's 5th NASCAR Xfinity Series championship. So congratulations, Richard, on continued success there. We will take questions for Tyler or Richard. If you have one, please raise your hand, state your name and affiliation, and we'll start with Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. Tyler, over the radio, as you were making that last lap across the finish line, you obviously went crazy. But coming down pit road, dodging the people.
Oops.
What
I
were
messed
you-
that up. Well, I knew we needed to get the tires checked, and I didn't want to, go right to doing burnouts. I wanted to get that checked right away, and I thought I had to go down pit road to then come back out by turn 1. So I should have just backed up, but it's all good. I got to make a mistake somewhere along the way. It's part of it.
Over your radio, also, Wayne Alton comes over and says, you are a 2-time champion. What did that feel like?
It was awesome. I mean, the first one was special, but this one means more, and it's special in different ways on top of it. From the moment me and Richard sat down last year about talking about doing something this current year and how much, excitement and faith he had in my driving ability, and he thought we could, well before I won the championship at Junior Motorsports, he thought I could be a champion, and did it last year at Junior Motorsports, but this year we did it more consistently, had the most top 5s, maybe not led the most laps, but we tooth and clawed our way for every top 5, every top 10, and that got us regular season championship, and that allowed us to go through the playoffs in a manner that allowed us to get here, even when we made a few mistakes along the way. So just hats off to this team. I wrecked a few really good race cars that we were planning on bringing here, and we brought our third option, and it was amazing. It was a great car, great team, and we just did what we needed to do to win the championship and the race with it.
All right, go ahead.
Dustin Albino front stretch. Tyler, what's it mean to be the first driver to win consecutive championships with 2 different teams?
It's awesome, but like I said, it's really special to win it with Richard and this team. You know, from the shop guys that don't get to travel, that, you know, we're expressing how excited they were to have me come in and how high their excitement level was, just getting me more pumped up than even, you know, winning a championship only a week ago. Having people tell me that, how excited and enthused they are, went a long way and a lot further than even I anticipated initially. And we hit the ground running in February with the pole and as much speed and drivability in our car at Daytona. You know, Randall was telling me from the get-go, this thing's going to be fast, it's going to drive good, and that's kind of been what we've had all year long, and it's allowed me to be a better driver, drive smarter, be more consistent, even on some of the racetracks where I had a lot of learning to do. So just an amazing team effort from everybody, from the top down. It's just been a blast this year.
All right, Lee.
RC, I haven't seen you this happy in a long time. How has this youngster revitalized RCR, particularly in the Xfinity Series, and what are your expectations for next season?
You know, Lee, I think, you know, he's amazing talent. I seen that before he even won his first championship, watching him race. And he drove some loose race cars that year for junior. Those guys really loose. It gets you in trouble. And the first thing I told Randall, I said, you keep him tight enough, he'll go out and win a lot of races for us. And he did. And we're so excited. I just felt if we could get here, we'd have a great shot of winning the championship. And the talent that he's got next year is going to be, it's going to raise RCR to another level. We've changed so much this year. I'm as excited about next year as I have been in a long time. Having Tyler in a Cup car and the things that we know he can do and what he'll bring to RCR.
All right. Davey, go ahead.
Davey Siegel, front stretch, one for Tyler and one for Richard. I'll start with Tyler. Dustin mentioned a stat. You also join a pretty prestigious club of drivers who have back-to-back Xfinity titles. Sam Ard, Larry Pearson, Randy LaJoie, Dale Jr., Martin Truex Jr., and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So I guess, you know, 3-4 years ago when you're starting your journey in NASCAR, did you ever imagine that you'd be on a list like that?
No, I really didn't. And just goes to show, you know, when you get a group of really good people together, and you can just do some crazy things, some incredible things. And what's been a lot of fun this year is, you know, last year the chemistry was great, Junior Motorsports with Dave and our whole team. But we had that again here at RCR right away. And from the top down and just our road crew to the guys back at the shop working on our cars to all of it. It's just it's a great organization. We get along really well. We have fun, and we work really, really hard. And it's just been a blast this year to put our heads together and go out and tackle the goals and challenges we have set forth in front of us. So it's been a lot of fun. I know the next step's going to be more challenging, but it's been a blast racing the Xfinity Series the last 3 years, and it's really cool that we've been able to go back-to-back.
And for Mr. Childress, Randall said that he was nervous for all 200 laps. Specifically, I asked him about the last run when he was inches off the wall. What were your feelings like watching it? Did you want him to maybe move down a lane or so?
No, I've seen him do it last year. I've seen him do it. That didn't have me nervous. My old blood pressure went up a little bit as they started getting at the end. I kept hoping not for a caution. Then the 7 hit the wall, and you never know what happens when you hit pit road. And that was the only thing that I had confidence in him. I know what he can do, and I know how he can drive the race car, and he's a special talent for sure.
All right, we will go to Bob.
Bob Hockers, Fox Sports. I have two. First, Richard, do you know, are you going to have somebody try to kind of defend this title for the 2-car next year in this series?
We will have an Xfinity car next year. If I had my goal, it would be one Xfinity team and one part-time team. Using the part-time team, we'll use it a little as a development team.
And for Tyler, was there ever a point in this race where you thought you weren't going to get to choose the name of your child? And what's it like to race, I guess, with, like, how in the world did you decide that the name of the child would be dependent on this race?
I had nothing to do with it. Something came over Alexa one morning. She woke up. She was not going to let – the names I came up with she didn't really like. And one I was really dead set on. I was having my friends, whenever we were talking about the little one in her inside of her, disrupting her, or when we'd ask about her. I got my friends on board with just how's Bo's doing. So it really got to frustrating her. And one day she woke up and she's like, all right, I don't know what's come over me. Maybe it's pregnancy brain, but I got an idea. If you win the championship, you can name it what you want to. But if you lose it, I get to pick my name, and you have to live with it for the rest of your life. I'm like, well, I mean, if I win it, you got to live with that too. So I had a lot of motivation coming into this, and that was just the extra bit of motivation that I didn't know I needed, but it definitely sure helped. Riker. So it might still be a middle name. Who knows? But I don't know why. I just like Bo. I don't know. It just seems fitting.
All right, Jacob.
Perfect.
Jacob Seelman, Speed Sport. I got a couple. I'll start with Tyler. When you look back on tonight, on Richard, believing in you, as you mentioned, even before you came here, if not for him, do you think we're sitting here, you're sitting here having this conversation and celebrating like you are?
Man, I don't know. It was just really, really cool and really special for him to want me to come over here. And that in itself was motivation, too, for me. Even last year, going on the stretch in the playoffs and then winning that championship, it got me fired up just to do what I did last year. And it had me fired up coming in this year, too. And it's just real cool that, he had all the faith in the world to me at a time where I maybe didn't have it in myself. And just real awesome to be able to have 2 back-to-back championships with 2 different teams. And it was what made this one so much more special is we were consistent week in and week out. I think we had more top 5s than anybody, and we were just always there. We had a lot of chances to win a lot of races this year, and they didn't always pan out, but we were very consistent, and that's nice.
All right, Jacob, hey, hold those questions. I'll come back to you. Let's get a few more in. Greg.
Greg Engel, Auto Week. Congratulations, young man. I'm sure we'll cross paths in Orlando again. My question to you, Mr. Childress, this is not your first rodeo. What is this? What does this young man remind you of? Who does he kind of mirror, do you think, as a driver out of all the drivers you've seen through your years? And does he get a discount at the winery?
Most definitely. He's got a lifetime wine club membership. We got about 2,000. He's going to be 2,001. But, I've been fortunate to see so many race drivers over my career. And, I've had the greatest with Dale Earnhardt driving our race car. I think if I look back throughout the years in history, and I've said it a couple other times, I got asked that tonight, was a great Cale Yarborough. Cale was a good friend of mine, and just watching how Tyler drives a race car, nothing shakes him, and that's who he reminds me so much of. I mean, Cale would drive that car so sideways, whatever it took, and he would come in. He was a 3-time champion and won a lot of races, and I think you look at the talent that's coming up next year, and I've seen so many throughout my career, but next year with Tyler Reddick, Cole Custer, Christopher Bell, that's going to be quite a race next year. So I'm excited about racing those 2 guys too.
All right. Did you have one? Okay, go ahead.
Aaron Bearden, Motorsport Speed. I got a couple for you, Tyler. First of all, I mean, you're in the same spot as last year, but obviously the season that preceded was much different. So does this one feel different to you now that you're here in the moment?
Absolutely. I knew coming in it was going to feel different if we were able to succeed. And, yeah, I mean, it's just total team effort. We were, like I said, consistent every week. And the things we were able to do and the things the team were able to, help me with to accomplish the things I wasn't very good at. And then, some of our most consistent races become those road courses and things like that. Just – it's awesome. They helped me a lot, and, it just was a lot of motivation to go out there and get it done tonight when at times we were, 6th, 7th, and other times we were down a couple laps on tires to other guys and just pushing then to when we had to push and get around the 7 and the 20, or the 20, the 7, and the 00 at the end there too. So they motivated me a lot this year, and I was coming into this with a lot of fire.
And obviously, this was one of the more special championship battles we've had with you, Custer, and Bell. Now that it's kind of over and you have time to soak it in, what memories do you take away from that? And does it make this any more special knowing you came out on top
I mean,
of those two?
it was perfect. I mean, it came down to us three at some point, the end of that stage three, whether it was, before the caution, whatever. We were battling, man, and, the green flags hit stop. We just battling hard like we have all year long, and it's just awesome. We were able to come out on top on the deal, but, a lot of times this year, the 20 and the double zero have bested us too, so been a lot of fun racing them. I'm looking forward to racing them along with some other really talented drivers next year on Sundays. And, it's just crazy that us three were able to win so many races and we were racing against each other so much. It was a blast.
All right, Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. This is for Richard. Richard, one driver that's been linked to your organization is Daniel Suarez. I'm wondering if that's someone you're interested in and if you've had conversations with him.
Some of our people have talked. Daniel's a very talented driver. He's going to land wherever he goes. He'll do a great job, and we're talking to several different drivers about the 2-car next year. So I don't know, but Daniel will do good wherever he lands.
All right, Jacob.
Jacob Seaman, Speed Sport. Come back to Tyler, and then I've got a follow-up for Richard. Tyler, talking to Randall earlier, and he was excited about the band staying together. You and him and Derek going cup racing next year. How much are you excited about that? And do you feel like it's going to at least take some of the edge off that transition, knowing that you've already got the communication?
Absolutely. I mean, we got really lucky, and unfortunately for Ross Chastain and some good guys over there. Mike Shiplett, Davin, Derek, and guys on the 42 car that I've worked with. When that stuff went south for Ross, I felt really bad, but I couldn't help but be a little selfish and hit up Derek right away and see if he had a home for 2018 or 2019, I should say, because I know how good he is, and he did such a great job. And we were in the process still looking to find a spotter, and I knew it was going to be a challenge to get Derek on there, but Randall knows Derek. I know Derek really well, and he does a great job. So it was really cool to have him come on board on the Xfinity side this year, and it just one thing led to another, and the seas kind of parted, and we were able to get him to come on board with us for next year too. So it's just awesome. We've had a lot of fun this year. We've had fun. Me and Derek have had fun in the past, and at Ganassi. So it's just really cool. It's the first time in 3 years or something like that I've been able to stay in the same place over the winter, and really excited to use all the tools that RCR has and Chevy has to allow us to hit the ground running come February.
And Richard, I know you expressed so much optimism with having Tyler and what you've got coming for next year, but to kind of cap the year off like this as you look back on it, 50th anniversary, how much does celebrating this moment and what Tyler's brought to the team on this anniversary, what's that mean to you?
I mean, it's really special to win a championship with Tyler 50 years later. It blows my mind to even think I lived to be 50, but to win a race and a championship and have a great driver like Tyler be right there with us. And I am so excited about next year because I'm letting these crew chiefs on the 3 and the 8 car next year, which Tyler will be driving. He's going to bring his whole team up. We're making a lot of changes, and I think you're going to see a different RCR next year. Tyler's going to put everybody to work over there because he's going to bring some speed and some talent with it.
It'll be great. I mean, Justin Alexander and I have worked together at times this year, and Randall and Justin get along really, really well. So really looking forward to that. So it's going to be a long off season, but it's going to go by fast all at the same time.
All right. Any additional questions? Okay, Kelly.
Absolutely. I want to get back to racetrack.
Yeah.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Tyler, what was the syrup chug like?
Oh, it was actually not bad at all. I just I hadn't had that much sugar that quick in a long time, I don't think. So it was just making sure I didn't get a sugar rush to the head, but it was great. It was enjoyable. I also said I was going to do it, so I had to stay true to it. Yes, I did. So I had to stay true to it.
All All right, Tyler, on I believe it's Tuesday, you get to go to Universal with our friends at Comcast and Xfinity. Just talk a little bit about that. I think you had the chance to go last year, but any new plans to take on some new rides this time around?
Man, anything Harry Potter is great. I know Kayla loves Harry Potter. She loves Universal and all the things about it. So, yeah, it was cool. I got to go last year, and now I get to go back and get to experience some new rides too. So, we're gonna be enjoying it. Kayla's gonna be enjoying it, I'm sure. And Alexa, unfortunately, probably can't go on any of the rides. So, I offered the trip up to Cole. I didn't really tell Alexa yet, but Cole might go with me. I don't know. He didn't seem too opposed to it.
All right. Any final questions before we let Richard and Tyler go? Okay, Chris, and then Lee with our final question. Go ahead, Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. Tyler, this is just a funny one. How are you going to spell Bo?
Oh, B-E-A-U. Yeah, not B-O. It's not body odor. Come on. B-E-A-U.
All right, Lee.
Oh, like Bo Duke? Oh, that was Randall's idea, actually. Randall was all on the kick because the middle name needed to be Bo, or, Duke. Bo Duke. So I don't know if I can convince Alexa of that. I love the Dukes of Hazzard growing up, but I take it she didn't watch a lot of it. So, she's from Chicago. She's up north. I don't think she's, Southern in any way. So we'll see. What was going through your mind when you made that move on Crutchford that was just absolutely amazing out of four? Oh, the crossover? I don't know, it's kind of funny, last week me and Justin Allgaier were kind of doing the same thing, downshifting, crossing each other over. So they're totally different racetracks by all means, but because of that with Justin the week before and how much fun that was, I just had a feeling Cole was going to do it, and I knew he was really, really loose up by the fence. So 3 and 4, it just worked out good. I saw how out of shape he got, and my car pivoted, turned, and I got back to the gas, and it took off. It got off the corner really well. So there was nothing sweeter than when I saw that 0-0. Get back far enough to where I could slide up in front of him and go on about my business. But I got to tell you, he didn't make it easy. I started taking it a little easier and tried to be smart about it, and he started to figure out, get a little bit faster. So if I wasn't careful and made a mistake, he was going to be right there at the end. We'll see in May, I guess.
All right. Well, congratulations to both of you. You guys enjoyed tonight, and we
Absolutely.
appreciate you spending time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe.